I don't know about you guys, but you know, sometimes I get home from work and we're under the pump. We've worked late, and my kids have grown up as like latch kids, you know. We work in the hospitality industry, so we're late home, and sometimes we get home and they're very hungry and they want dinner now. And the last thing I want to do is go into a really sort of in-depth kind of cooking recipe, and we just want to whip something up really quickly. Now this is a great little recipe and it's a favorite with my kids. Fish cakes. We've just got some nice mashed potato, which takes maybe 20 minutes at the most. Then what I've got is some spring onions that I'm just going to quickly cut. I just take the nice white bits, and we want about, I don't know, half a cup or 3 of these nice little stems just chopped up. We're going to whack that into our mashed potato. You know, kids can be demanding. They put a lot of pressure on parents. It's ridiculous. And they always seem to be hungry. Actually, when they get to the teenage years, I've got 2 boys, and they are literally eating non-stop. So being able to satisfy their hunger pains quickly is really convenient. And this is a great way to do it. Now you can use tin tuna, tin salmon is good. I've used smoked mackerel before, but I think having just those tins of fish in the fridge, one, you get sort of really good proteins and omega oils into your children. It's nourishing and it's super convenient. So we've got our spring onions. Now, if you've got kids that are pretty fussy, you can leave all this sort of stuff out and just simply do potato and fish. But I like to spice it up a little bit, just to make it a little bit interesting for myself, because invariably I'm going to eat what they're going to eat. A little bit of dill, which is at the moment I think one of my favourite herbs, and it has been for a while. So potato, dill, spring onion, bit of salt, bit of pepper. And now we're going to take our tin fish, and you just want to take the fish out with not too much of the liquid. Doesn't matter if you get some in there. We'll probably use about 2 tins here. My daughter loves to eat just the tin tuna or tin salmon just by itself as a little snack. So we're going to mix all this together. Make sure you've got a nice amount of fish in there, and you end up with this lovely mixture. We'll just have a little taste, make sure it's seasoned. Very nice, very nice. I'm happy with that. Now what you can do is you can spend your time moulding them into little patties, but I'll show you a quick way of doing it. 2 spoons. We'll come over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to crumb them. So we've got our panne station. That's the technical term for everything you need for crumbing. So we've got flour first, then straight eggs. I prefer to use straight eggs because it gives a richer, thicker coating, and it means more breadcrumb will stick to the actual fish cake. And then we've got some lovely panko breadcrumbs there. So here, just mix those up. We're going to grab a spoon's worth like this, and we're just going to make these little egg shapes. We're going to drop them into our flour, and what this does is it just helps sort of make those cakes a little bit firm and compresses all that fish into our cake, and we don't have to get our hands that dirty, which is always a pain when you're doing fish cakes. While we do that, I'm going to warm up my oil. Nice vegetable oil in the pan. Into the vegetable oil, I'm going to put some butter. Butter and oil cooking together. We get the lovely flavour of the butter, the richness, but the oil prevents the butter from burning, so it's a balance. Okay, now we just simply roll those in the flour, make sure they're all coated, then they go into the egg yolk, or eggs, sorry. We give those a bit of a coat. Using our fork, we'll just turn them over. That way we're kind of stopping our hands from getting all dirty. Give them a flip. Then we pick them up and we chuck them into the breadcrumbs. Drain them first. Then what we do is we just toss them. And this is where I shape them into our little round fish cakes. That way, we're not getting potato and everything all over our hands. Our hands stay relatively clean, nicely coated. And we just shape them into nice little round cakes. And this process we just repeat until all of our fish cake mixture is used up. So what we want to do is add the butter and get it to a point where it's foaming. So you get this nuttiness from the butter in the oil, which really adds to the flavour of the fish cakes. And now we're just going to dump these into the pan, a nice high heat, and we're going to gently fry them until they're golden brown on one side, and then flip them over and continue to cook them until they're golden brown on that side. And by which time they should be perfectly hot through the middle. So they're lovely and crunchy. You want to get a nice crust on those. So you've got this kind of textural contrast. You've got a nice crunchy external fish cake with a nice soft fluffy potato inside. So we just take those out, drain them on some kitchen paper. Now if you're doing large batches, I normally keep the oven on about 120, pop them in, keep them warm, and then continue to cook. That way they don't go all soggy. And now we're ready to serve these up. Here I've just made a little combination of my favourite chili sauce, a bit of sriracha style sauce and Japanese mayo. And we'll just do a nice big dollop on the plate. And then we'll just stack a few of these on the outside. Throw some lettuce on there, some like tomatoes and cucumber. Beautiful. But if you just want to have them as a snack, just dip them in the mayo and off you go. Yum! Oh, I'm hot. Ooh, ooh.